The file lands on my desk with a thud. Just another case, you know? This city is full of them. People looking for answers in all the wrong places, chasing ghosts up in the clouds when the real clues, they're right here in the grit. So let's open this one up. A case I call Terrestrial Fire. Every investigation starts with the motive, right? A piece of wisdom you find scrawled on a matchbook. This one's a classic. Heaven is the dream of the weary. And you let that hang in the air for a second, heavy with smoke. But the earth is the reality of the strong. All right, here's the rundown. 6 parts to this investigation. We're going to follow the leads from those empty skies all the way down to the bedrock of what it all means. Each one's a clue, and each one takes us a step deeper into the whole affair. So, our investigation kicks off with the main crime scene, a world that's decided it prefers a comfortable lie over a hard truth. A world that traded the real, dangerous, vibrant Earth for, well, for a pale, sterile reflection in the sky. It's the perfect setup for a fall, and we've got a front row seat. Here we go, scene 1, a cold, isolated summit. The air's thin up here, and you know what? So are the promises. This is the kind of place a man goes when he's trying to run from something, and that something is usually himself. And here's our first person of interest, the hermit. This guy has traded everything, the struggle, the salt of the earth, for a single obsessive direction, up. That compass of his, it's a beautiful lie, pointing to some silent judge in a playground built for ghosts. Okay, now let's head down to our second location, a city that's literally made of reflecting glass, a marketplace of masks. Down here, truth? Well, truth is just bad for business. Everybody just reflects what their neighbor wants to see. It's a whole society built on a frozen grimace of fear. And right there in the middle of this whole charade, we find our second subject, the holy fool. Yeah, they call him mad, but his madness is really just an overdose of honesty. He's juggling the heavy, real weight of the earth, while everyone else is carrying the empty weight of their own vanity. You know, every good story like this has that moment. The moment the whole facade just cracks. A single gunshot in the night, a door kicked right off its hinges. In this case, the truth shows up, and it shatters everything. And it doesn't just happen once, it happens twice. Every case has a catalyst, right? Well, meet our detective, the Wanderer. He's kind of the private eye of the soul, the guy who shows up and starts asking the questions nobody wants to answer. He's not here to make friends. He's here to break this case wide open. And there it is, the first break in the case. The Wanderer finds our hermit, and with one clean, almost brutal move, he just shatters that instrument of delusion. The golden promise? It's nothing now but glittering dust on cold, hard stone. And the sky? It doesn't say a thing. And then comes the second shattering, a much more public spectacle. Inspired by all this, the fool, he stops juggling. He throws his stones right down on the ground. The impact of his truth is immediate. The earth literally shakes, and all those glass masks all across the city start to spiderweb with cracks. So all the lies are broken. A void opens up. But you see, it's not empty. Something new, something much, much more difficult rushes in to fill it. A new kind of gospel. Not from the heavens, no. This one's from the soil. A truth with some real grit to it. This is the Wanderer's core message. His one piece of advice. Look down. Just stop searching the empty sky for meaning. The only real evidence, the only actual truth, is right here in the earth. The blood of your ancestors, the roots of your future, it's all right there. So here's the dossier. We're laying out the whole conflict in stark black and white. On one side, you've got the sweet poison of heavenly rewards and that cozy metaphysical comfort. And on the other, the hard truths, this terrestrial fire, the ecstasy of the abyss, and the frankly terrifying freedom of creating your own values. This is the new law of the land, the will to power. And listen, it's not about dominating other people. It's the internal drive of life itself. It's not some passive prayer hoping things get better. No, it's the active, struggling vine that carves its own path toward the sun, getting its strength from the soil. Okay, we've reached the climax of the investigation. This is the moment of revelation. It's that scene where the suspect is cornered in a dark alley and finally sees the world without any of his comforting delusions. And you know what? It's terrifying, and it is magnificent.
And here it is, the Wanderer's final word on the whole matter. The Übermensch is the lightning. Think about that. Not a slow, gentle dawn. It's a sudden, violent flash of light in the darkness. A force that doesn't ask permission to light up the world. It just is the light.
So, what does this lightning even look like? Well, it doesn't beg for mercy, it commands the void. It doesn't weep over old ruins, it dances on them. This is the new ideal, right? A being that's strong enough to destroy old, dead values, that's the lion, but is also innocent and creative enough to build brand new ones, like a child at play. The Wanderer, he's left the scene. The case is, for all intents and purposes, solved. But the story isn't over, not by a long shot. Now we get to see the aftermath, the consequences of this shattering truth for our two subjects. How do they actually live with what they know now? Take a look at the hermit. The transformation. It's profound. His body is no longer some prison he's waiting to be released from. No, it's a vessel, a container for that magnificent earthly fire the Wanderer was talking about. He's not a beggar of the stars anymore. He's a gardener of the heights. And the holy fool? Turns out he was already on this path, this whole spiritual journey. First, he was the camel, just bearing the weight of tradition of thou shalt. Then he became the lion, turning to destroy that tradition with a defiant I will. And finally, the child, innocent, powerful, creating something totally new, saying a sacred yes to life itself. And so, we're closing the file. Our subjects have been transformed. They've stared into the abyss and found not nothingness, but this terrifying, beautiful freedom. The investigation is over. But the real challenge? That's just begun. This is the ultimate test. It's the Wanderer's final, silent question. Eternal recurrence. Would you be willing to live this very life, with all its pain, all its joy, over and over and over again forever? To be able to say yes to that, well, that's the ultimate affirmation. To live in a way that makes that question a joy, not a terror. So, the case file is closed. The clues have been laid out. The truth has been shattered and rebuilt from the soil up. And now, the investigation, it turns to you. The Wanderer is gone, but the question hangs in the air, echoing in the dark. You have the fire, so what are you going to build with it?